I'll write the first one. I built my first AI agent. Here's the full process, free, since it appeared first in your list. If you'd like the other three as well, just let me know, and I'll write each one separately. A few months ago, I had never built anything close to an AI agent. I didn't know how to code, I didn't understand the tools, and honestly, the whole idea felt like something only tech experts could pull off. But today, I'm going to show you the exact process I used to build my very first AI agent, completely from scratch, using free tools and without writing a single line of complicated code. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to do it yourself, step by step, in a way that actually makes sense. Before we dive in, if you're someone who's curious about AI but feels a little lost or overwhelmed by all the jargon out there, you're in the right place. This channel, AI Unlocked Official, is all about breaking down AI in a way that's simple, practical, and actually useful. So if that sounds like something you need, go ahead and hit subscribe and tap that like button because trust me, this video is just the beginning of a much bigger journey we're going on together. Now, let's talk about what an AI agent actually is, because this is where most people get confused right from the start. An AI agent isn't just a chatbot that answers questions. Think of it more like a digital assistant that can think, plan, and take action on its own. Instead of just responding to a single message, it can break down a task into smaller steps, decide what to do next, and even use other tools to complete that task. Imagine telling a regular assistant, "Find me the best laptop under a certain budget," and it just gives you a generic answer. Now imagine an AI agent that actually goes out, searches multiple websites, compares prices, checks reviews, and then gives you a final recommendation, all on its own. That's the difference between a basic AI tool and an actual AI agent. When I first heard about this, my brain immediately jumped to thinking I needed some kind of advanced programming background. But here's the surprising truth I discovered. You don't need to be a developer to build one. You just need the right framework, a clear goal, and a willingness to experiment. And that's exactly what I did. The first thing I had to figure out was what I actually wanted my AI agent to do. This part is more important than people realize, because if your goal is too vague, your agent ends up being useless. So I started small. I wanted to build an agent that could research a topic, summarize the information, and then organize it into a simple report. Sounds simple, right? But this one task actually touches on multiple skills an agent needs: searching, reading, summarizing, and organizing, which made it perfect for a first project. Once I had that goal, I moved on to choosing the right tools. And this is where a lot of people get stuck, because there are dozens of platforms out there, and almost all of them claim to be the best. But for someone just starting out, you don't need anything fancy or expensive. I used a combination of free, beginner-friendly tools that are designed specifically for building agents without needing deep technical skills. These tools let you connect different building blocks together, almost like assembling pieces of a puzzle, where each piece represents a specific task the agent needs to perform. Here's where things got interesting. Building an agent isn't just about picking a tool and clicking a few buttons. You actually have to think like the agent itself. You have to ask yourself, if I were this AI, what steps would I need to take to complete this task? This shift in thinking completely changed how I approached the entire project. Instead of trying to write out instructions for a chatbot, I was designing a workflow, almost like creating a flowchart of decisions and actions. The first step in my agent's workflow was simple. Take a topic as input. This could be anything, a question, a subject, or even a single keyword. From there, the agent needed to search for relevant and reliable information related to that topic. This is where I connected my agent to a search tool, allowing it to pull real information instead of relying only on what it already knew. This was a huge moment for me, because I realized this is exactly what separates a basic AI response from something that feels intelligent and dynamic. Once the agent gathered information, the next challenge was figuring out how to make it summarize everything in a clear and useful way. At first, my agent's summaries were a mess. Too long, too repetitive, and honestly, kind of confusing. But this is where I learned one of the most valuable lessons in AI agent building. It's not just about getting the AI to do something, it's about guiding it with clear instructions on how to do it well. So I refined my prompts, gave the agent specific formatting guidelines, and told it to focus on key points rather than dumping everything it found. The difference was night and day. Suddenly, my agent was producing summaries that actually made sense and were genuinely useful. After that, I added one more layer to the process. I wanted my agent to organize the summarized information into a structured report, almost like a mini research document. This meant teaching the agent to separate information into sections, like an introduction, key findings, and a conclusion. At this point, I wasn't just building a tool anymore. I was building a system that could think through a process from start to finish, just like a human researcher would. Now, here's something that really surprised me during this entire process. I expected building an AI agent to feel extremely technical and intimidating. But honestly, the hardest part wasn't the technology itself, it was learning how to think in steps. Once I understood that an agent is really just a series of small decisions connected together, everything became so much easier. It's kind of like teaching someone to cook. You don't just say, "make dinner." You break it down. Chop the vegetables, heat the pan, add the ingredients, season it, and then plate it. AI agents work the same way. Break the big task into smaller, manageable actions, and suddenly the whole thing becomes achievable. Another thing I didn't expect was how much testing and adjusting was involved. My first version of the agent worked, but it wasn't perfect. Sometimes it pulled irrelevant information, sometimes its summaries were too short. So I went back, tweaked the instructions, adjusted the workflow, and tested it again. This back and forth process is actually a normal part of building anything with AI. You're not just creating something once and walking away, you're refining it until it consistently produces the results you want. By the time I finished, I had built something that could take any topic, research it, summarize the findings, and generate a clean report, all without me lifting a finger after the initial setup. And the best part? I did this entirely using free tools with zero coding experience, just by understanding the process and being patient enough to experiment. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that AI agents aren't just for big tech companies or advanced developers anymore. They're becoming accessible to everyday people, and the ability to build one yourself is quickly becoming one of the most valuable skills you can have, whether for personal projects, business ideas, or just understanding how the future of technology is shaping up. So, here's my question for you. If you could build an AI agent to handle one task in your life, what would it be? Drop your answer in the comments, because I'd love to see what ideas you all come up with, and who knows, maybe I'll build one of them in a future video. And if this video helped you understand AI agents a little better, do me a favor and share it with someone who's curious about AI but doesn't know where to start. Because the truth is, the people who learn this stuff early are going to be the ones who benefit the most as this technology keeps evolving. And remember, the only difference between someone who builds AI agents and someone who doesn't is simply deciding to start.